everybody. You're here. You're on the digital continent. You're making a difference, spreading the gospel. And so is Steve, Irish Steve. He's biking around the coast of Ireland for the mission of 1billionstories.com. There's a lot of Irish people out there who are strong Catholics, and he's getting their stories and putting them on this website so that you can watch them. So pray for Steve. I believe his patron for the trip, of course, is St. Bridget and St. Patrick. So pray to them for the intercession for the success and safety of his travels through Ireland. Also going to DC for the March for Life, Washington DC. January 20th I arrive, so if you have a story, email me, Seth at 1billionstories.com. We'll make it happen. Alright, come back every day for a new story.
Still am, and will be until they make me. So, yeah.
And somewhere along that journey, you picked up either a love or a talent for music.
I did.
And a specific type of music.
Yes.
When did that happen, and what kind of music is that?
Well, in college, I went to Colorado State after I graduated from Regis. In college, I had always listened to hip-hop music, and I went to a couple shows and met just a small core group of people in Fort Collins that were making music. But at that time, I was still very kind of on the fence about my faith. But then when I went to Belize, I actually dragged this old 8-track recorder that I still have at my house. I took it with me to Belize, lugged it down there in this suitcase, and I would pull it over to this room where one of my roommates taught, and I would hook it all up there, and it just ended up being an awesome outlet for me to kind of wrestle with the questions that I was sort of dealing with at the time about my faith and about truth and about the struggles of being in community. So I made an album called Hiatus that actually is, that was what it was named after, was this 2-year kind of break from the world where I was trying to figure things out. Sure. And then when I came back, I felt like I had a much better grasp on what I believed. So that's what it's become for me now. That's what it wasn't. That's not what it was initially. It was just kind of a pastime. Yeah. But now it's definitely, for me, it's a cathartic thing. It's kind of a vehicle for me to sort of explore some of the things that I wrestle with. Yeah. But especially now as a teacher, and now I have 2 kids of my own, as a parent and as a sort of an authority figure for my students, it's a way for me to kind of express sort of a countercultural alternative to what I think they get from the radio and
from a lot of it.
Yeah, from a lot of the radio. Yeah. And just to get them to question some of those same things, not to be spoon-fed what they're being told is success, or what they're being told is is worthwhile. Yeah. So that's sort of where it is for me now.
Yeah. And when you're writing a song, what's one of those first steps that you make? Like, is it you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, this is the theme of the next song, or is it more out of experience?
It can kind of go one of 2 ways. I work with a number of different producers, and they can either send me a beat that kind of evokes a mood, and then I'll just write to it, or I step up in the circle, reppin' one and universal, meaning we reach the peeps underground to commercial, busting these mustard seeds so my weaponry is fertile. Let God rock the beats, Docs will bless you with the verbals. Yo, no rehearsal, flows oh so versatile, live and direct, yes, up close and personal. Died in the flesh cause the love shown is merciful. Pride ends in death, sins infections terminal. But Christ's love is surgical, so the divine cup keeps my eyes upon the vertical. Wine becomes blood, removing human foolishness, aligned with the sun through the fluid of the Eucharist. God who chooses losers and hooligans, the same one they claim that you could never prove exists. Who is this? Just a student of the crucifix, learning that laying down your life is the truest gift.
There we go. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So we're in school, and one of the lines was being a student basically at the foot of the crucifix. Yeah. But what inspired you to write that song specifically?
I think just kind of that notion that that's where we can learn the most. That anything that I do as a teacher is just a pale imitation of what Jesus, the kind of the ultimate teacher, did. And I mean, even from just I see the signs to free these minds is overdue. So leave behind the evil times where no one knew. The key to peace I find is combining beats and rhymes, but the golden rules usually pursued by
my chosen few. I see the signs to free these minds is overdue. So leave behind the evil times where no one moved. The key to peace I find is combining beats and rhymes. By the golden rules usually pursued by chosen few. It's like that to that, y'all. Up to my knees in these highbrows and slack jaws. Stuck on the streets like they tied down to asphalt and ain't even leaving when